Alan, why don't you take this one? What is the story of American Fiction?
Yes, American Fiction is the story of Jeffrey Wright here. He plays Monk, a prolific, well, I wouldn't say prolific writer, but a writer of novels. And he is also a teacher. He's a struggling writer. He's a teacher. He gets fired from, he gets put on leave, administrative leave, because one of his students was triggered by a book that he made them read that had the N-word in the title. So he gets put on administrative leave. And meanwhile, there's a book out there written by, let me say, sorry, I gotta pull the thing up here. American Fiction. So basically, there's a book out there called written by, dang it,
Issa Rae. Issa Rae is
Issa Rae,
actress. No, wait, it's not.
Okay, she plays Sintara, an author, and she's just like Monk here. She's very well educated, and she wrote a book that's very gritty and very urban. And Monk finds it offensive that this is how Black literature is being portrayed. And so, meanwhile, he goes home. His mother has dementia. His sister passed away. So he has to take care of his mother, who ultimately he needs to put her in a home. He can't afford it. And his agent says, well, you should write one of those books. And he says, look, it's not going to happen. And as a joke, he writes one, and it takes off. It's called Pathology, and everyone loves it. There's a movie deal that they want to do. And now he has to deal with the fact that he's now about to become super famous because of a book he wrote as a joke and is offended in every way by its existence. And there's a side story that's hilarious too. But American Fiction, this is probably up there as I'm almost going to put it as my favorite movie of the year. It's funny. It's social and political satire at its best. There's this family story behind it with him and Sterling K. Brown that is just the heart of this movie, because it deals with a lot of their upbringing and a father who wasn't there and a father who favored him over the rest of his family. And I was listening to an interview with Cord Jefferson, who is the writer-director of this, and it's based on a novel. But his whole point of this movie was the Black experience in America. Because the Black experience on one end of the spectrum is slavery, and on the other experience, it's the president of the United States. And he was saying that the problem is that there's so many stories in between those two pillars of Black experience in America that somehow we don't want to tell those stories, and that we're forced to tell the slave story constantly. And that's what this movie kind of hits upon. And I think it's it's an important movie to watch. I saw it in a room full of white people, and they were uncomfortable, which is great. I love it.
Good.
And quite frankly, when I saw The Color Purple, in a full crowd, I kept thinking about this movie.
This movie will trigger white liberals because they are completely mocked, and it's not white people, liberals specifically. There's a scene, I don't want to ruin too much, but there's a scene at the very beginning of the movie where he goes to this book conference, and there's like 4 people in the room, and he's doing a panel. I think there are more people on the panel than in the room watching him talk about his literature. Then he goes into the biggest room at this convention, and there are a sea of people and a woman talking about her book, I growed up in the hood, and she reads a passage from it, and it's all just like ghetto slang, and they're the white liberal women in the audience are just eating it up, and it just shows it shows how like white progressives they only like Black people to be a certain thing. You've got to be you got to check a box or fit into a box of a certain type of identity. And if it's not exactly that identity, they don't like it. So when Jeffrey Wright's character, Monk, tries to, he's like, I'm just like a writer. I just want to write, and his fiction is not accepted as being worthwhile because he doesn't fit into the box that they all want to put him in. He doesn't fit neatly into this box of a black writer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a clip that's going around that they put out where he's in a bookshop and his book is in the African American Studies section, but the
right.
movie has nothing to do with being African American.
No,
And
it doesn't.
yeah, and he gets offended by it, and he removes the books and puts it out in the proper category.
It's something that I've been saying forever. He just puts it, he takes the books from the African American section and just puts it with the books, right? It's about this stupid idea of identity politics, you know, trumps everything. And it's a dumb idea. Even when I remember being in college and going to film festivals for the first time. I'm going to film festivals and I thought it was great. But then I was like, why do they have the women filmmakers or the black filmmakers this is literally what they would do is they would take the black filmmakers and the women filmmakers and they'd have their own section. And they made it like it was like a big deal. And I'm like, how about just the good films that we can all enjoy regardless of identity? And I was always confused and baffled by this idea that you've got to take this category and to me, it's demeaning. Because it's like you have to we have to lift up these women filmmakers. So they're going to be women filmmakers, right? They're going to be, this is where the black filmmakers go. I call BS. And this is what this movie mocks. I mean, look, it's more of a drama than a comedy, but the comedic stuff is so satirical, poking fun at all.
It's laugh out loud funny. I mean,
yeah.
You'll laugh. This is a drama, but you'll laugh more in this movie than you will at any of the other comedies out this year.
Because the situations are ridiculous and it's poking fun at something that is in the world, which is an idea that like white progressives only like when black people do things that they kind of, put their seal of approval on and they have to be a certain way. There's another great, oh my God. This is like maybe a minor spoiler. What is in your background, Alan?
Oh, that's from Emmanuel's Revenge, which we'll talk about.
Well, you're going to review that next.
Yeah, we'll review that.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I think I want to just
based on sexy, yeah.
It looks like Poor Things too. Anyways.
Oh no.
Okay, so there's a scene where they're debating about to give an award to a book, and they're talking about it, and there are like 3 white people on this voting board and 2 black people, and the 2 black people vote for one book and the white people want this other book, which is that typical book.
Yeah, it's his book. It's his book.
Well, dude, I almost said it's anyway. Okay. You shouldn't have said that.
It's not a spoiler. Come on.
It's not a big spoiler, but it's like the line that they outvote the white people on the panel, and they're like, we just want to lift up black voices. We want black voices to be heard. And it's like, it just mocks everything that is stupid about our.
To me, it's condescension.
Yes, exactly.
It's people who are above me, dropping me their crumbs.
Right.
And it's like, no, you put me at your level, and this is, I think it's important for film festivals to highlight, ethnic voices, women voices, LGBT voices, fine, but don't do it in a way that's so condescending that it feels like that you're just, here's your corner of the festival. You do your thing there. I would say, these festivals, they should just go out, look for the best from these ethnic voices, these minority communities, and put that in your festival and just say, this is something great that we found. Don't pander to us.
I'm just tired of bad ideas being seeded where somehow that's the default, right? These horrible concepts of identity, like, Alan, outside of Film Threat, you are my friend. I don't think of you as my Asian friend, Alan. I think of you as my friend, Alan. Dante James, who happens to be black, I don't think of him as my black friend. I think of Dante as my friend Dante. And this idea that
I'll just say, Chris, you're my favorite white person.
Well, I'll take that. But it mocks all the stupid that is seated in the zeitgeist that I just think should go away. So
Well, that's the point of this the movie, is that the breadth of the Black experience in America is very broad, from slavery to the president, and we should be telling those stories.
And just the idea, I don't know. There're just so many like I love the fact that like this mocks all of this happening in the culture right now, and couldn't be a better time for this movie. Strongly recommend it. 8 out of 10.
There's a scene where he wants to change the name of his book, and I won't reveal what it was, but
No,
but the struggle session over it is hilarious.
Yeah, the name of the oh my god. Yeah, no, strongly recommend it. 8 out of 10 for me. Alan, what about you?
9 out of 10 for me.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's look.
Yeah, like I said, I think I still haven't decided yet, but this is. I mean, it's almost my best movie of the year.